You gonna see my bag of jerky?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the October 10th, 2020 edition of Pro Wrestling Throwdown Oct. Caleb Black, Luke the Big Dog Williams, our in-studio producer, the mighty Max Fury, and it's time for our deep dive on the American Dream.
Dusty Rhoades, baby.
Please talk like that.
Every week, huh?
We talk about Dusty a lot on this show because we're both big fans, but with his birthday coming up, we wanted to just do another special segment all about the Dream. I'm sure we've got like 2 or 3 of these, but we don't care because we're Dusty boys. We're Dusty Rhoades
Honestly,
guys.
with Dusty Rhoades, we probably do a video a week and still have content.
Still, yeah. From the incredible matches he had, his legacy as both a booker, the backstage shenanigans, his influence on the business even still today, the Dusty finish, iconic name in pro wrestling, the father of Dustin Rhoades and Cody Rhoades, 2 of the biggest stars in the wrestling business today. Man, there is just not enough to say about
Dusty Rhoades, baby.
He does a way better Dusty than me, and I hate it.
Kings and Queens, baby.
That's
Kings
right.
and Queens.
Obviously, Hard Times. One
Greatest
of
promo.
the most iconic promos. We should do a promo segment next week where we just talk about some of our favorite promos.
Yeah.
Because Hard Times is up there. It's so good. And not only Hard Times, every time Dusty cut a promo.
You felt it.
Yeah.
That's because Dusty Rhoades, I mean, you know, they tried to make him a joke in WWE.
Yeah.
With the polka dots.
And he still ruled ass.
Still got it over.
Yeah.
The thing about Dusty Rhoades that's always been fantastic for someone like me is he was the common man. Like it wasn't just a gimmick.
He was the son of a plumber.
He would reach out and he could touch you. Yeah, I mean, like anything he said it to you, you believed it.
Yeah.
Because Dusty said it.
Only Anderson.
You're gonna bleed it down, me, you son of a bitch. I mean, you know, and like you said, his impact is still felt today.
Yeah.
War Games.
Yeah, War Games.
Starrcade.
Yeah. Even just Dusty really, really took time in telling his stories. He always got good color. He always had fights.
Well, the NXT was built on the back of Dusty Rhoades.
Yeah.
I mean, he took the time because he believed that NXT was the future of the business.
Yep.
He took the time to make sure that people were comfortable in what they were doing, and if they didn't believe what they were doing, we wouldn't believe what they were doing.
Yep. Influential when it comes to young talent. And then you look back and the matches with Ole, the matches with Flair.
Oh man.
Him
and Savage.
Him against the Horsemen. The list literally goes on. Him and the Russians. Him and
Sweet Sapphire.
Sweet Sapphire, baby.
His stuff. Yeah, his stuff.
Mama's gonna be on the veranda.
Side note: I know it's not exactly Dusty, but Dusty's real name is Virgil Runnels.
Yeah,
and that as a rib, Vince McMahon named the $1 Million Man's butler Virgil.
Yeah,
as a rib
on Dusty
Rhoades.
Yeah. Talk about somebody who just was a constant, perpetual icon, no matter what he did.
Oh, yeah.
Cody Rhoades loves to tell these stories because they lived in a gated community with a public pool for the community. And they had like celebrities, real celebrities who lived there, but they'd all go out to the pool and everybody'd be in shape. And they've had, beautiful women all around. And Dusty'd come out in a Speedo. Big old Dusty Rhoades just hanging about, baby.
Or naked. There was a point that Brandy Rhoades shared a story where she had went up to see if he was ready to go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And he was in nothing but a robe.
Yep. That's Dusty, baby.
Answer
Dusty,
the door, nothing
baby.
but a robe. It's because he wanted everyone to see the American Dream.
And he, and also with like the real life aspects of Watts with Crockett, with WCW treating Dusty the way they did sometimes, with Dusty. When Dusty had the book, there were questionable choices where everything was about Dusty, but at the same time, in that period of time, you only had 4 megastars in wrestling.
Right.
You had Hogan and Andre on one show, and had Flair and Dusty on the other.
I remember a story being told when they had the Rhoades family versus what was the last big run they had against? The Shield.
Yeah.
And they wanted Dusty to come out and do the 3-on-3.
Yeah.
And Dusty was like, I don't want to go in front of the camera the way I look.
Yeah.
I'm out of shape. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy anymore. And they convinced him to do it, and it got the biggest pop of the entire match.
Yeah, Dusty's the man.
He didn't give himself enough credit.
No,
Dusty Rhoades, for a big man in that day and age, to sweep professional wrestling the way he did is incredible.
And we're talking the 70s, 80s when it was bodybuilders, when it was giant, monstrous men, and Dusty comes out corn-fed, obviously not small and not weak.
No.
But, not the physique, but man, talk about a guy who took it and just, it didn't matter. He had sex appeal, he was charismatic. He's one of those big dudes who he was getting it in, baby.
His style, his style, baby.
Style, baby. Style
he would,
profile.
Yeah, he could come out and just captivate, but I think that also has to do with the fact that he was relatable.
Yeah.
Professional wrestling needs more of that nowadays.
Yeah.
That's the reason why people like John Cena, people like Roman Reigns, and all that don't get over and the crowd regurgitates it because they're getting force-fed it because they don't relate.
Yeah.
If they were to relate to either one of these men, how can you relate to Roman Reigns? If you're somebody like me, how am I supposed to relate to John Cena?
Right.
You can't. Dusty Rhoades comes out, son of a plumber.
Yeah.
Talking about the American dream.
Yeah.
Coming out talking about my daddy worked in a factory and now you're going to replace his job with a computer and a machine.
Yeah.
And you're going to give him a watch and kick him in the ass and say thanks for your service. I mean, right there, look.
Yeah, chills. Literally, yeah.
It's iconic. You felt every time he talked into the camera, it felt like he was talking to you.
Yeah, talk about the king of promos in the way of... He also always did that little trick where he'd remind you, like if it was a live taping, he'd remind you of the venue and the date.
Yes.
So, old school wrestling trick when back in the day before they advertised everywhere they were going via social media or whatever, he'd do the whole, Ole Anderson, you and me, baby, November 24th. Down at the Sunshine Arena, baby. It's going to be you and me, and it's going to be a fight, baby, November 24th.
Pay your tickets.
Get your tickets, and just the fucking best.
Also, his best promos, I think, is when he come out and he just monotone.
Yeah.
Because he could come out and he could talk about eating a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
But the way he would talk about that ham sandwich made you want to have a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
And you don't know why you wanted to have one.
Yeah.
It's because he's just straightforward to the point.
Also, one of the first, remember, this is 70s, 80s, and we're talking Georgia, we're talking Alabama, Mississippi, the Carolinas, Southern Territories, one of the first televised promos in that time period where he talked to the crowd about respecting each other's race.
Yes.
When he talked about all the funky cats he knew and that they were all great people and that's kind of his influence. And
when he used to come out with the big blinged cabbie hat.
Yep.
And the sparkly jacket. Would talk like Muhammad Ali because that's what he did.
Yeah.
There was a funny story I just actually heard the other night. He's traveling with Bruce Pritchard. At the time was Brother Love.
Yeah.
And he was just coming into the WWF. And Vince McMahon's like, you've got Dusty. I want you to take Dusty around. I want you to make sure that he makes his bookings and he's taken care of. His hotels are taken care of. And he said, I'm okay. And he said he couldn't tell you how many times that he heard, I'm the most recognizable sports figure, second only to Muhammad Ali. And he said he heard this 70,000 times. And by the end of the trip, he just wanted to go home. So they're driving and they're almost where they're going. And they got cherries and berries in the rearview mirror.
No.
And he pulls over and he's thinking, oh my God. And the cop comes.
I'm going to get arrested with
Cop comes to the car and's like, you know how fast you were going? No, sir. And Dusty goes, I tried to tell him at one time he was doing 80, 90 miles an hour, driving like crazy. And I tried to tell him, and he wouldn't listen. And the cop kind of stands there for a second. And, of course, Bruce Pritchard's like, I'm going to go to fucking jail. Like, are you fucking serious? And the cop stops for a second. And he goes, looks at Bruce Pritchard and goes, are you a professional wrestler? And Bruce Pritchard said in my head that one of two ways this is going to go. Either, yes, sir, I am. oh my God, I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Or, yes, sir, I am. Please step out of the car.
Please step out of the car. And he said, so he went with, yes, sir, yes, I'm a pro wrestler. And the cop goes, Brother Love? And he's like, yes, sir, I'm Brother Love. He goes, my captain's a huge fan. Can I get an autograph?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. And he's like, and can I get an autograph?
Yeah.
Because that's awesome. And the other cop by this time has walked around to Dusty's side. And Dusty looks at him and the cop goes, do you wrestle as well?
Uh-huh.
And Dusty's like, I am the American dream, baby. This, that, and the other. And he reaches out like he's going to sign, like, do you want me to give you an autograph? And the cop turns around and walks back to the squad car. And he said, they start the car, and they go driving away, right? And it gets real quiet, and he can tell Dusty's just fuming. Just fuming. And all of a sudden, as you know, Bruce Pritchard has an impeccable American Dream impression. He goes, I am the most recognizable professional wrestler in the world, second only to Muhammad Ali. My name is Brother Love. And he said they never rode together again. That is a true story. Can you imagine that, though? So, I mean, there you go. Like, Dusty tried to throw it on fucking Pritchard, and Pritchard got him in the end. It's a fantastic story.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, never rode together again. Actually, if you want to really hear that story done in justice by Bruce Pritchard telling it, WWE Storytime, the new episode of the new season, it's Bruce Pritchard telling the story, and there's animation behind it. Hilarious. Give it a look. You'll enjoy it.
I am
the most recognizable sports star in the world, second only to Muhammad Ali. Fantastic. It really is.
Oh, shit.
Really good.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah,
Ooh.
if you don't know, now you know. Get on the WWE Network. Get on YouTube. Look up some of these promos. Look up some of these stories. Some of these wrestling matches. Happy birthday, sir. You are missed. Rest in peace.
Oh, you're going to have to close this out.
Cody and Dustin are doing you proud.
Oh,
That's
my
going to
God.
wrap it up for the history segment of today's show. You can send us an email at prowrestling.throwdown@gmail.com or check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/prowrestling.throwdown. Leave us a like, a comment, subscribe, please, and stay tuned for more content.